Taurus, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for August 22nd through the 28th of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to check out the link down below because the signs are different. All right, so Taurus, an important week this week. We have a grand cross forming up with the moon in the third quarter phase, and a lot of important aspects taking place, a lot of conjunctions. Essentially what we've got is we've got Mars going over Saturn, who's going to be squaring up to Neptune. You know, Saturn has already been squaring up to Neptune. Mars is now joining the mix here in this conjunction. So let's go ahead and start with this. This is all taking place in your 7th house of relationships. So in the big picture sense, you guys have already had Saturn here. So this is about the patience, perhaps, in the whole relationship department, maturity, groundedness. All of these more, let's say, refined and big picture perspectives have been so important in your relationships. And recently we've had Mars enter into your 7th house over these past roughly few weeks, and you may have been perhaps noticing a bit more motivation and drive to cultivate this area of life. And that's excellent, fantastic. But here we have this combination of what is the drive and the more immediate desires with needing the patience, right? And the more long-term desires. So these two planets coming together does suggest a good week to really implement this more patient and persistent approach to the relationship side of things, because we might be perhaps very direct. You guys have likely been very direct, very assertive, maybe, you know, pursuing something there, and it can certainly be cultivated. It just takes time, right? And it takes us being willing to limit ourselves, because, you know, Saturn is that things do come in time, but we have to limit ourselves, such as through gaining results, such as doing the mature thing, the grounded thing, and really reserving that area. Now, Mars does rule your 7th house naturally, so that could be particularly emphasized there. Mars does rule your 12th also, so it could be a good week for refining the alone time and spiritual time out. Now, a little bit later, Mars will be squaring up to Neptune, which will be about the Thursday, Friday time. So with this one, when it does come to the relationships, it is important to detach, to let go, to surrender, and really accept things for how they are. And it could have to play a role with relationships and maybe even your career as well, since Neptune's up in your 10th house. So that's the key, is to challenge ourselves this week, to develop personally, to develop spiritually, and some good qualities would be working on that acceptance. It's also great for meditation and things like that. We can challenge ourselves to cultivate. And then in that way, we are being the agent of change versus the confusion and doubt, which can sometimes be the case if we try to figure out either the career or the relationship level too much, if the mind gets caught up into it. So that's that aspect, but we do have some good aspects, or what I should say easier aspects to work with this week. Mercury is going to be conjoining up to Jupiter at the beginning of the week. Then we do have Venus transitioning into Virgo, which is your ruler. And then at the end of the week, we'll be conjoining up to Jupiter. So very nice weekend there for seeing those bigger possibilities for you. So looking at this from your ruler, this is you in the chart shifting into your 5th house. Now, the 5th house is the house of self-expression. It's about your interests, your hobbies, creativity, the things that are close to your heart. And you recently had Jupiter go into here, so now you've got this time period for over the next year for plenty of possibilities here to expand those horizons, whether it's to express yourself, get creative, whatever it might be with that. So with Venus shifting into here, that's emphasizing this on the short term. There's been a lot of concentration of energy here on your home and family life, or home and or family, maybe even your health lately. But things are certainly shifting into the more of the expressive and enjoyment side. And I think you guys will notice that shift particularly this week once your ruler actually transitions into that 5th. So with that, on Monday, you guys could be perhaps thinking creatively. You've got Mercury conjoining up to Jupiter there in that 5th house. Mercury does rule the financial and material side, so maybe some new beginnings with that, maybe seeing possibilities there, maybe just overall feeling quite expressive in general. Then as that shift of Venus goes into your 5th house, really emphasizing that. And, remembering too, the way you guys express yourself is in a refined way, which is Virgo, isn't it? What you might call self-improvement way. But then on the weekend, you guys do have Jupiter with your ruler. So you guys could be seeing perhaps some new possibilities, feeling inspired, seeing that big picture perspective, maybe even doing some things like reading philosophy, maybe going out into nature, going for a walk. Some of you could be doing some traveling or whatnot over the weekend, but very nice to have that conjunction there. All right, so Taurus, that's the week in a nutshell. If you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I'll see you all next week.